in the world. Just the number of broadband users in Pakistan is more than the entire population of Canada. Just the number of social media users in Pakistan is more than the entire population of many countries in Europe. This is not a small market. This is a country with huge potential. And Ali Nasir, I don't know whether he's still here or has left, I really liked his speech because he said we can do better. Of course we can do better. You look at a country of the scale of Pakistan, mostly young people, educated, urbanized. You look at the adoption of technology in Pakistan. You look at our exports, they don't line up. We only export, what, $32 billion worth of goods and services. We could be doing a lot more in this country. And this could be the beginning of that. Many years ago, I took a short course at Harvard, and as part of their case study, they presented Pakistan as a country which has a lot of potential in manufacturing, but has not been able to progress as well as it should based on this potential. Our industry, almost cottage industry in fan manufacturing, out of a whole belt in Gujranwala, Gujarat, etc., has not been able to progress to a point that they've become an export-oriented industry. We used to be a very large producer of medical equipment. That has eroded over the years. Our textile has not grown as much as we could. And we have totally untapped potential of the electronics industry. There is very little electronics that gets manufactured in this country. It's not just electronics, also products like fiber optics. For the local huge demand, but also export potential. But what has happened is in the last 3 years or so, there's been good work in this sector. There was a very good policy that was brought in for local handset manufacturing. And I've actually written down all the things that we've done for them. And there are things that we promised that we couldn't do, but let me at least start out with the things that we've done for them. The handset manufacturing industry has made so far, from what I can tell, there are various numbers that I got reported this morning, but about 57 million phones that have been locally manufactured. That's a very large number. Considering that our domestic demand is only 25 million phones per year. So a large fraction of the local demand could be met by local handset manufacturers. And these are not just manufacturers with local brands. There are, I'm told, more than 35 international brands that are beginning to either manufacture in Pakistan or explore this market. We certainly want to be able to meet our domestic demand through locally assembled handsets. For this, the government has given a lot of incentives to the industry. Some we've promised and not delivered, but many that have already been put into play. If you're a handset manufacturer in Pakistan, there is a zero regulatory duty for CKDs and SKDs in the country. If you're a handset manufacturer in Pakistan, there's a zero fixed income tax on CKDs and SKDs manufacturing mobile devices of up to $350. If you're in Pakistan, there is a zero fixed sales tax on CKDs and SKDs manufacturing. You're also exempt from the 4% withholding tax on domestic sales. These are all the things that the government thought of about 3 years ago and passed on to local handset manufacturers. And as one of the speakers said, they are now able to meet a very large fraction of the domestic demand. The domestic demand is about 25 million handsets. They produced 16 million handsets in 2021 and about 24 million in 22. So a local handset manufacturing industry can actually meet a very large fraction of the domestic demand. But the real benefit of this industry would come when they would be able to export these phones in a globally competitive market. Currently, the phones that are produced in Pakistan, their average value is about 15,000 rupees. These are 2G and 3G phones used by the masses. So the question is, what can we do to incentivize adoption of high-end phones, production of high-end phones, and export of high-end phones from Pakistan? For this, the government promised but didn't deliver on a 3% R&D allowance. I'm happy to report that they've now agreed finally, officially, that a 3% R&D allowance that we long promised to the handset manufacturing industry will be given to them before the end of this fiscal year. This 3% would eventually increase to 8%, which would be very comparable to just the regional policies that we have. India exports about $10 billion worth of exports every year. We've just been told that Vietnam exports $60 billion worth of phones. Thailand is a great example for a for electronics manufacturing industry. Many years ago, Thailand started assembling laptops domestically, but also for the regional market. But the government had a great policy for what is called local deletion, which means that you can assemble electronics using SKDs and CKDs, but you must.
हुकूमत मकामी मैन्युफैक्चरर्स की हौसला अफजाई कर रही है। निगरान वफाकी वजीर बराए इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी डॉक्टर उमर सैफ तकरीब से खिताब।